And right now we're going to welcome in the guy who helped engineer that comeback victory at Heidelberg, head football coach Jim Hilvert. Coach, thank you for joining us. Always a pleasure.
Hey, thanks for having me back. It's been great the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, it sure has. It's been solid work for you, your team as a whole. You know, how good does it feel to be riding the winning streak that you are going into the regular season finale?
Oh, it's unbelievable. I told the team today, everybody counted us out for dead after the first 3 games. We were 1-2, and I know a lot of people out there, a lot of doubters out there, did not think much of our team and where we were going. Guys, obviously, made a concerted effort, obviously, looking themselves in the mirror to change what was going on. They did that, and ever since that Ohio Northern game, things have gotten better, and better. And the last 2 weeks, I think we played some really good football. The Capital game, went on the road, handled our business, played really well, played some physical football. And then last week, we faced a lot of adversity. People don't know about this, but a train stopped our bus twice. We were about 35 minutes late to the game, playing in 35, 40-mile-an-hour winds. And we got off to a slow start as a team, and also we were down 13-0, but came back the second half, hung around. We changed momentum by making some big plays. When they tried to fake the punt, we stopped that, played some good defense, and then our offense started rolling, did some really good things to get it to 13-13. And then that was a gritty and gutsy win. It really showed a heart of a champion that game. It was unbelievable. And really proud of our guys to go into the finale 7-2 and have a chance to get a share of a league title, to play Mount Union at home in the senior weekend.
Yeah, I mean, you can't ask for a better script for this week. But before we get to this week's opponent, taking a further look back at that win over Heidelberg, like you said, not an easy one. You had a lot of factors that maybe people didn't know about going in. But then you get those 13 points back in the fourth quarter. You're able to force overtime. What was it like to watch the team kind of embrace that adversity and collectively overcome it?
Well, the thing about us, too, is that we've been in a lot of close games, and we have faced some adversity this year.
You've had to come from behind a lot, too.
A lot. As a team, and then obviously coming from behind, the Ohio Northern game, the Marietta game, the Wilmington game, there's a lot of games that we were in tight games, and our guys didn't flinch, just kept playing. And, there's obviously those little plays during the second half where it changed momentum of the game. You could tell it started steamrolling. Started going our way, started getting, obviously, all that momentum. And then guys coming up big. Elijah Arnett's catch, which I don't know how people saw it on the video, was unbelievable. I think it was a third down, third and long catch. Went over the top of somebody, caught it. It was unbelievable. Dean Sarris kicking the ball in those 2 kicks in that wind. The last one was a curveball, and the way he had that hook on it and the way the team came together and blocked well for him, and he made 2 critical kicks to get us in that situation. Eric Felder, that pick in the end zone on third down was a huge turn of events when it was 13-10. We get the interception. We go down, kick a field goal to tie it up 13-13 to get us in overtime. And I had my mind made up Thursday. We were going to go for 2. And obviously our offense, I had trust in our offense with Coach Schwartz and obviously the rest of our offensive guys. And Joey made some great catches. Timmy Conwell on his little stick and nod route. And Elijah Arnett making a great catch for a 2-point conversion. Total team effort. It was a total team win, and I'm really proud of my coaching staff and the football team.
You mentioned having your mind made up, going for 2 pretty much midweek. Did you see the forecast coming? Like, were you expecting some less than ideal kicking conditions?
Well, first I knew this. Obviously, I knew it was going to be windy. I didn't know how windy, but I knew this. They have 33 seniors, 12 of them are grad seniors. And I knew if we're on the road and we're in a dogfight, if I get a chance to take 2 and steal and win out of Tiffin against that team, I'm going to do it. And I thought I didn't want to go back and forth with them because I know they have a really good offense. I wanted to get that. And we had Coach Schwartz and those guys had some 2-point plays ready. They designed them. They were confident in them, and our guys executed it to it.
No doubt execution was key. Taking a look at some of the guys individually that you mentioned. First, Elijah Arnett. He doesn't always get the ball thrown in his direction because there's a multitude of options for the quarterbacks. but when he does, he seems to make big plays. How nice is it, do you think, for those quarterbacks to know that they can go? Elijah may not be, the top option all the time, but when you go to him, he's going to make the plays, and you can have that trust in him and guys like Darius Stokes that even if they only get 2 or 3 passes thrown their way a game, they're going to make plays.
Oh, yeah, guys, like I said, big-time players step up in big-time games. Elijah Arnett has done that. Obviously, guys like Darius Stokes, Timmy Conwell, Mikael Love, those guys have all stepped up in times of need during games. Elijah Arnett, obviously, some of the catches he made this past weekend. Timmy, I thought our wide receivers did it just as a whole, as a unit, did a really good job this past Saturday.
Yeah, Tim Conwell was a guy that early on in the season was playing mostly special teams and then gradually worked his way into the offense. What is it about his practice habits that allow him to be successful on game day when you start building up those reps on offense?
Hard worker, smart football player, obviously knows the playbook, runs some great routes, and he's Mr. Reliable. He's going to catch the ball, and he does a great job, knows what to do when he gets the ball and what his number's called, and he's a great person, great kid. I'm really proud of him coming as a freshman to make a difference for us.
You've run with 2 quarterbacks this whole season. Both Reese and Joey have seen significant time and made plays for you, both with their legs and throwing the ball as well. Both delivered with touchdown passes on Saturday against Heidelberg. How have these guys been able to make it work when they've been alternating and, avoiding that, well, I want to be the guy or I should be the guy mentality? It seems like they're both pretty selfless guys.
Yeah, I think they're both, like you said, unselfish young men. Want to do what's best for the football team, and we're trying to play to their strengths, and I think Coach Orich and Coach Carlson and the rest of our staff have done a great job of being able to do that. With Joey, obviously his strong arm and some of the things he can do throwing the football, and Reese with his feet, being a good athlete, having that savviness about him, moxie, all those type of things for both those guys help us win football games, and having that unselfish attitude definitely helps our football team. As not as a whole, but as a unit, as an offense.
You mentioned that execution on that 2-point conversion was critical and it was fun to watch, but execution was something that your team did throughout this game as they go 8 of 20 on 3rd down, 3 of 4 on 4th downs. And we've talked about this before, your 4th down execution. It seems like you've been consistently getting good production in those money downs where it's basically do or die. You're going to give the ball up to your opponent if you don't convert. What is it about those 4th down opportunities that these guys seem to really rally behind?
First, I think they want to have me age about 20 years. I tell you what, some of the 4th down plays that we had to make in that game and 3rd down plays were unbelievable. Guys stepping up and just making unbelievable plays. You always want more for your guys and obviously your coaching staff and stuff like that. And our guys, when it's time and the lights are on them, they always seem to shine on them. And I'm really proud of my staff and those guys being able to do that in critical situations. 4th down and 3rd down situations, being able to do that to help us win football games.
How critical was it to have those conversions when Heidelberg's running back is having a great day and their time of possession the time of possession rather favors them by not an insignificant amount of time?
Oh, it was big. I mean, we had to make the most of our opportunities when we had the ball. That's why I said that fake punt was huge. I think that's a big deal, maybe stopping them on a 4th down, too, and getting the ball back, having half the field. Special teams, I think, played a huge role in us winning that game. From our field goal unit to our punt unit, being able to block that, to trying to be able to flip the field, our kickoff return. Darius Stokes almost broke one on the kickoff return. But our special teams has to keep stepping up, and obviously, from this game and obviously going into the next one we're playing.
Yeah, speaking of what's ahead, looking ahead this week, you're at home for Senior Day and the regular season finale against a team from Alliance that's ranked as high as number 2 in the country. What are you expecting from the Purple Raiders when Mount Union comes here on Saturday?
Oh, yeah. First of all, they're well coached. Those guys do a great job of coaching their guys. Coach Dart and those guys do a great job. Well coached. They got some really good football players. Braxton Pollock, their quarterback, it all starts with him. Wayne Ruby, DeAndre Parker, obviously the list goes on. And defensively, they have an All-American linebacker who's a good player. So for us, we need to just go out and play our game. We got to worry about us, take care of us. Hang around, and hang around. And then when it comes to fourth quarter, be able to, the game's close, be able to make those key plays in the game. Because against this team, you have to be able to score touchdowns. You have to be able to score touchdowns. You got to almost play a perfect game. And our guys are excited about the opportunity. Those guys knew, they never thought this would happen. Well, we talked about after the third game of the season, they know what's in front of them. They know they have to have a monumental effort, and I know they're up to the challenge. I know they're going to have a great week of preparation. They're excited about playing, obviously, the first or second-ranked team in the country, like you talked about. We're playing with house money.
Yep.
And our guys are excited about that and have an opportunity maybe, leave a mark here at BW, leave their legacy here at BW. And I know they're excited about the seniors and obviously having them go out on a good note. So it's going to be a great football game, and excited about it.
It's never easy to play against Mount Union regardless of where the game is located, but how nice is it to have that at home on senior day and have the crowd behind you? I mean, Mount Union travels well, but you're going to have the home field advantage.
Oh, there's no doubt about it. This is only the second time we've played them at home since I've been here. So it's nice to be able to play them at home. Like I said, last game, and celebrate our seniors and celebrate this team. Like I said, to rattle off 6 games in a row is not easy.
No, not in this league.
And, dealing with what we dealt with and being able to handle it and keep improving and having faith in each other and the brotherhood we have, I think it's helped us get to this point. And I know, like I said, guys are excited about 1:30 p.m. on Saturday, so I'm looking forward to our guys playing.
And we're all looking forward to seeing what you guys can do against the Purple Raiders. Best of luck, Coach.
Thank
and
you
we
so
look
much.
forward to talking with you again. Take care, Coach.
Thank you.
That's head football coach Jim Hilvert, who has guided the Yellow Jackets to a 7-2 overall record, 7-1 in Ohio Athletic Conference play. And they've got a big one coming up on Saturday afternoon when they welcome the second-ranked Mount Union Purple Raiders to Trestle Field at the George Finney Stadium. Kickoff for that game is set up for 1:30 p.m. And we're going to stick with the football program just a little bit longer, and we're going to welcome in junior place kicker Dean Sarris, the Canton Glen Oak native. Thank you very much for joining us, Dean. Welcome to the program.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
First and foremost, how excited are you for Saturday?
Very excited. At the beginning of this season, I feel like it was a lot of people that counted us out, and now that we have a chance to play for a share of the league title, it really lights a fire up everyone's butt.
What was it about this team that led to you kind of pulling away from those early season struggles, and instead of having those struggles, finding ways to finish games over the last 6 weeks? Because while it's been nice to win, it hasn't been easy. You've had to come from behind pretty much the whole way.
I think a big thing for us is we never quit. That's not a part of our team nature. We've been through a big amount of different adverse moments throughout our season, and throughout the 4 years I've been here, just a ton of different adversity, and I feel like we've grown from that, and our senior class has done a good job to make sure we let the young guys know, whatever happens, we just got to keep going and trust the team, trust our teammates to do their 1/11th out on the field.
Individually, how do you think the season has gone for you kicking the football?
I think it's gone pretty well. There's obviously, I'd like to have no misses, but there's things that happen. But I always have a positive outlook, try to take a positive away from each event, each play. And my team does a good job of supporting me.
Can you talk about what your freshman long snapper Tim Conwell has been able to do this year? And, I mean, that's not an easy position to come in and handle as a freshman, but he seemingly has done it pretty well to get the ball back to make sure you have opportunities to get clean kicks.
Right, he's taken it on well. He's not only on the special team side of things with punt, but he's also been killing it on the offensive side of things. He's someone that the offense really confides in and know he comes up with big plays, just like on Saturday.
Coach mentioned it a little bit that Saturday was less than ideal kicking weather, 35-mile-an-hour gusts, and I've been up in Tiffin and windy games before, and I've seen how unfun and unpleasant it can be for kickers.
Yeah.
How are you able to kind of use your pregame to prepare for the elements that you were going to face?
A lot of it came down to trusting myself and trusting everyone else on my PAT field goal unit to do their job. And throughout the season, I've been able to trust them a lot. So in situations like that, I was really confident, and I just knew I needed to go in and do my part. So throughout pregame, it was a lot of experiments going on. A lot of like, all right, how far do we have to aim if we're on this hash, this yard line? And it came down to the 2 kicks. I wasn't even aiming in through the uprights. I was just outside the uprights.
Yeah, talk about that. When you're trying to size up the conditions in pregame, do you start by trying to hit it down the middle and see what it does, or like what's your process for gauging the wind?
I usually try to get 10 to 15 pregame kicks in. I'll start at PAT, move back, move around the hash marks, get a feel for that side. Sometimes go down to the other side if the other team allows me to get kicks on the other side. Usually get like 2 kickoffs, but I really get my judgment off the kickoffs because I know if my field goals can get high enough as my kickoffs, it usually gives me a good judge of like, okay, like if my ball is going to get to this point, the wind's going to take it here. Gives me a good judge if I need to kind of put like more of a line drive on it or if I can hit it higher.
So Coach mentioned that he trotted you out there for the game-tying field goal late in the fourth quarter. What was going through your mind when you were walking onto the field, and was anything going through your mind? Were you just focused on what you had to do?
Obviously, there was a little nerves. The big thing for me is I had seen on Justin Tucker was doing a 60-minute, and he said he praised to God to thank him for each moment he goes onto the field. So when I was going out on the field, I just prayed to thank him for that moment because it's a moment that ultimately I was able to make a lot of fans happy, a lot of people happy, a lot of my teammates happy. And it was just a moment that I was able to embrace and go out there and do my job.
Coach also mentioned that he knew midweek that if he had the chance to take a victory with a 2-point conversion, he was going to do that.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously, you're the kicker. You want to be out there. You want to be contributing.
Right.
You want to be kicking those extra points. But how nice was it to see that come to fruition and the guys execute like they did?
It was awesome. It's a moment I'll never forget. Right after we scored the touchdown, me and my holder were running out onto the field. And he was like, come back, we're going for 2, we're in it right now. And I was like, Coach, whatever you say, man, I trust you, I trust my teammates. And I was excited. And I'd actually told Elijah Arnett, who caught the 2-point conversion right before, I was telling him, like, you know, this is what we work for, this is what we're up here all summer for. I was like, it's moments like these, like, go make it happen. And sure enough, he ended up catching that, giving us the win.
Yeah, I mean, it's really been impressive to watch the way that this team has come together. And it hasn't been one guy consistently that is relied on. It's been by committee, everybody's stepping up. Like
Right.
One day it'll be Darius who has a big game, or then Tim will come up with some huge long touchdown plays, and then Elijah gets his every once in a while as well.
Yeah.
From your perspective, though, you see all these guys working hard, and to see them be able to kind of share the wealth and not have that I before we mentality,
Right.
that has to be infectious to the rest of the locker room.
Yeah, very, very. It's something that Coach instills in us. You know, I mean, one of the big things that he harps on is don't flinch. No matter the situation, don't flinch. And as individually, as players and as a team, we know everyone puts in the work. So in situations like that and coming back from a 13-point lead, we're able to trust everyone. Everyone was calm. No one was freaking out. We were able to go out there and do our thing.
Looking at before you were able to kick for the football team, obviously you had to make the choice to come to Baldwin Wallace in the first place.
Yeah.
You had an outstanding career at Canton Glen Oak. You were all league, all county. What was it that stuck out about BW? Why did you want to come here above the other options that you had?
The coaching staff was, throughout the recruiting process, was on me the whole time. Always calling me. My senior year, I had ran track, and they would call me, like, checking up on my track meets, like, seeing how I did, and that's something that a lot of other teams, people that were recruiting me, didn't do. And from the moment I stepped on campus, it felt like home. It felt like I was able to, come in here and make an impact.
You're right up the road from the team that you're going to be playing on Saturday afternoon. Does that add any motivation or any extra to this game?
Yeah, we know a lot of guys on the opposing side of the ball this upcoming Saturday. For me and Stokes, it's more like a home game. Like when we would go play at Mountain, it was a home game. I think here it's a home game for us too, and that it's a little more meaningful. I think to get the win over those guys we know is going to be a lot.
Talk a little bit about your off-the-field pursuits. What are you pursuing here at Baldwin-Wallace, and do you plan on playing again next year?
I do plan on coming back for my 5th year for COVID. I'm a sports management major. Want to go into coaching special teams at some point down the road, any level. I'm also a minor in legal studies in case I would want to go like a sports agent route or something like that. So I'm not really like solely set on what I want to do after football.
Talk about the sports management program here, what the opportunities that you get. I mean, you're always helping out at big events, whether it be the CFP, the College Football Playoff, or the Super Bowl, just big events that are nationally known. The Baldwin-Wallace University Sports Management Program has a presence at these events, and not just a presence, but a major impact on these events, the behind-the-scenes part of it. Have you gotten to experience any of that yet, and how exciting are those opportunities?
I'll get an upcoming experience with the Super Bowl this upcoming year, which is super exciting for me. I know the people that have gone in the past, with the Super Bowl, F1 racing, the college football playoffs, all that kind of stuff, always have a blast going. They also make, I think the biggest thing they take away from is the contacts they make. This is contacts that they'll make for the rest of their career that they'll have to use after they graduate.
If you don't yet have them, get business cards for yourself. It's a good investment, I promise. I've been to both the CFP and the Super Bowl. They're outstanding experiences. Enjoy every single moment of it because those opportunities are fantastic. Before we let you go, Dean, again, a big game coming up on Saturday against Mount Union, number 2 ranked team in the country. I don't think anybody really, after the start that you had with 1 and 2 overall, gave you much of an opportunity to be in a situation where you're playing for a potential split of a league championship with one of the best teams in the country. How excited are the guys, but how focused are you seeing your teammates, and how focused are you going into those practices and those meetings with Coach?
I think it's something that, like this morning, we were laser focused. Like our lifts, both offense and defense seemed very focused. There wasn't a lot of goofing around going on. We knew we had to get the job done. We knew that this week we have to be a little more focused than normal. From a personal standpoint, I just go into it as another game. I don't want to psych myself out. So I go through the same routine, same kind of stuff. And like you said, a lot of teams counted us out, and that's something that's fueled us the entire season. We're on a 6-game win streak, making it look at 7, and hoping to shock a lot of people on Saturday.
Well, Dean, thank you very much for the time. Best of luck come Saturday. Looking forward to seeing what y'all do against the Purple Raiders. Best of luck.
Thank you.
That's star kicker for the BW football team, Dean Sarris. Dean kicked 2 field goals and an extra point in less than ideal wind conditions up in Tiffin on Saturday to help Baldwin-Wallace erase a 13-point deficit and then ultimately win 21-20 in overtime over the Student Princes to extend their winning streak to 6 straight games. Before we get to our final interview of the evening, we'll take a look